Imagine you're in your car, ready to go to work, but something strange happens. You turn the key, the engine turns over, but when you step on the accelerator, nothing. The car simply won't move. You know exactly where you need to go. You have gas in the tank, but something unseen is locking the wheels. This is exactly what procrastination feels like. You know what you need to do? You have the tools. But when the time comes to take action, it feels like there's an invisible force holding you back. And here's what no one tells you. It's not your fault. That's nearly 4 hours of wasted potential every day. Not because we're lazy or undisciplined, but because we're fighting our own operating system without knowing how it works. The average American wastes 218 minutes a day. The first is your limbic system. Think of it as that friend who always wants to do the easiest, most pleasurable thing right now. It evolves to keep us safe. So anything that feels like work or discomfort, it interprets as a threat. That we need more discipline, more motivation, more grind. But what if I told you that willpower is the worst advice you can ever receive? What if the real solution is to work with your brain, not against it? For years, we've been told that procrastination is a lack of willpower. It's the same chemical release when you complete an important task, but without the effort. Your primitive brain thinks, why should I do this difficult report when I can get the same rewarding feeling by just swiping? It's an unfair fight, and you need better strategies than just focus more. But here's the problem. It consumes a lot more energy than the limbic system. It's like comparing a smartphone to a supercomputer. Your stomach tightens a little, and you feel that familiar feeling of anxiety. It's not just the project it's the story you tell yourself about being the kind of person who leaves everything to the last minute. 10 minutes later, you're reading about something completely irrelevant, knowing you should be working, but unable to stop. Not because it's hard, you could write it in 5 minutes. But every time you think about it, your brain finds something more urgent to do first. When you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, which one do you think wins? It's not genetics. It's not luck. It's knowledge of how the machine inside your head works. There's a difference between people who can execute consistently and those who get stuck in the procrastination cycle. When you can't keep up with the impossible pace you see on social media, you feel even worse about yourself. If you need to write, leave the document open on your computer. If you need to call someone, dial their number. It sounds silly, but you're rehacking the same system that tech companies use to keep you hooked on their products. But those people who seem superhuman, they don't have superpowers. They have systems. Once you're in motion, physics works in your favor. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Most of the time, you'll keep going beyond the 2 minutes mark because you've already broken the initial inertia. Friction is any obstacle, no matter how small, that gets in the way of you getting started on a task. Your brain is incredibly sensitive to friction. Want to write a report? Just write the title in the first sentence. Want to organize your house? Just organize one drawer. Want to study? Just open a book. The difference between an app being on the first screen of your phone or having to search for it on the second can determine whether or not you use it. Your brain is running 2 systems simultaneously, like 2 programs competing for the same resources. They happen because you're using the wrong tools for the right problem. It's like trying to cut wood with a spoon. The problem isn't your technique, it's the tool. Social media does just that. Every like, comment, or share gives you a little dose of satisfaction. The presence of another person, even if they're not directly watching you, dramatically increases your ability to focus. It's the same principle as why you behave differently. When there are other people in an elevator, you can use the same mechanism for your own goals. Every time you complete a task, no matter how small, celebrate. Bet money on your own success. There are apps where you deposit money and only get it back if you meet your goal. Or give money to a friend with the instruction to donate it to a cause you hate, if you don't deliver what you promised. It sounds extreme, but it works because it adds real consequences to your decisions. I'm not talking about a party. I'm talking about a little yes, a fist in the air, a moment of genuine recognition. If you see yourself as a procrastinator, you will procrastinate to stay consistent with yourself. But if you see yourself as someone who delivers results, you will act accordingly. When you're done, genuinely celebrate. Tell someone you did it. That's 3 strategies applied in less than 10 minutes. This isn't empty wishful thinking. It's based on how our brains actually work. The second is your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of the operation. It understands long-term goals, it can plan, it sees the big picture. It's the systems you haven't built yet. Stop fighting your brain and start working with it. You don't need more discipline. You need better strategies. It doesn't matter what the specific numbers are. It's important to have a game that your brain can win every day. Gamification works because it turns work into a competition. And Americans love competition. Your brain cares more about what other people think than you'd like to admit. Every time you make a commitment to yourself, no matter how small, you are voting for the person you want to become. Every action is a vote. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to have the majority of your votes be in the right direction. Use this to your advantage. Tell someone what you're going to do and when you're going to deliver it. It's not that the tasks have gotten easier, it's that you've become the kind of person who does hard things. And when you become that kind of person, procrastination stops being a problem you have. It just becomes something you don't do anymore. Better yet, work together with someone. even if it's virtually. It's because your brain evaluates energy cost versus reward. And social media was literally designed by neuroscientists to hack your dopamine system. That's why you can effortlessly watch 3 hours of TV, but struggle to answer emails for 10 minutes. It's not because you're lazy. Every time you pick up your phone and see a notification, your brain gets a microdose of dopamine. The point isn't to have more discipline. It's to understand that you're competing against billion-dollar algorithms optimized to capture your attention. Think about how you feel on Sunday night. You know you have that project that you should have finished by Friday. Or when you're at work, staring at a spreadsheet that needs to be done, but somehow your fingers type the URL of that news site. Maybe it's that important email you need to send, but it's been sitting on your to-do list for weeks. These situations don't happen because you're a bad or irresponsible person. The constant pressure of hustle culture only makes things worse. The first real strategy is something I call friction reduction. Apply this to your important tasks. If you need to exercise, leave your workout clothes on your bed when you wake up. The 2-minute rule works because it removes the psychological barrier to getting started. Don't commit to doing the entire task. Just commit to doing it for 2 minutes. The thing is, getting started is always the hardest part. The second strategy is to hijack your own dopamine system. Remember those algorithms that are competing for your attention? Let's use the same tactics against them. This may seem artificial at first, but you're literally retraining your brain to associate productivity with pleasure. Create a personal scoring system. Responding to emails is worth 2 points. Completing a project is worth 10. Exercising is worth 5. Speaking of competition, external accountability is your third secret weapon. Body doubling is a simple technique where you video call a friend and both of you work in silence on your own tasks. If you really want to guarantee results, create a commitment device. The most powerful strategy is to change your identity. Stop seeing yourself as a procrastinator and start seeing yourself as a doer. We make decisions based on who we believe we are. Change doesn't happen through one big moment of revelation. It happens through small, accumulated pieces of evidence. Get started today. Pick a task you've been putting off. Apply the 2-minute rule. After a few weeks of doing this consistently, you'll notice something interesting. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be. IS&T. The willpower you don't have. Take a task. 2 minutes now.